November with this company, but I do not have that information at my fingertips.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from council members? Ms. Burgess, I'm just curious in the fact that and it could be a misconception on my part, I didn't think that they could have both an IFT and the Renaissance Zone at the same time.
It is allowed under the statute.
It is allowed?
Yes.
Okay, so...
Particularly because they're coming back on the tax roll this year.
So what we would do is tax basically on a separate basis. It's 25% of what was in place at the time that the Renaissance began, and then 50% on what is now being invested?
That's correct, because the way that the Renaissance Zone taxes work, as you're probably aware, the taxes that are abated are based on what was invested at the time that the rent zone was adopted by this council and the state of Michigan. And this is brand new investment.
Right.
So it's not the same investment, and therefore, and secondly, the owners and operators of U.S. manufacturing do not own the real property, so they have not directly seen or recognized relief tax relief because of the red zone being in place.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm satisfied with that. Any other comments? Go ahead and call, okay. Go ahead and call the question, Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Barkamino?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item number 11 is an administrative hearing, consideration and determination in re request of U.S. Manufacturing Corporation to approve an industrial facility tax exemption certificate under PA 198 of 1974 covering premises at 28201 Van Dyke Avenue in Section 16, and consideration and adoption of a resolution granting an industrial facility tax exemption certificate for the personal property component only, determining duration and exemption period and termination date.
Item number 11 is administrative hearing. I need a motion and support.
Motion approved. Support.
Motion by Mr. Green, support by Mr. Stevens. Thank you, Ms. Burgess. Do you want to just go over for the residents the scorecard in this matter?
Certainly. Just very briefly, I would like to begin by indicating that U.S. Manufacturing has made application for relief of taxes at 50% rate for an investment of $50 million in personal property that will begin over a 2-year period, the construction period. And with that said, they will be receiving 50% of all ad valorem taxes taxed against this property. If the council would turn to page 2 of 4 of the scorecard, as you can see, it is broken down by years 1 through 12. The total IFT tax levy would be $2,866,807. However, the city tax levy would be $1,344,645, and the other unit's tax levy is the difference, which is the $1,522,162.
And that's over 12 years.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want people to understand.
I'm sorry. They meet the criteria under the eligibility guidelines that the City Council adopted for a period of 12 years.
Okay. Any discussion by council members? No? All right. Seeing that, I'll call the question. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Barkamino?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously. Thank you.
If I could, Madam Chair, I'd like to introduce U.S. manufacturing representatives that are here this evening.
Please.
Mr. Simon and Mr. This
Evening,
is-
Council.
Good evening.
This is Mr. Brian Simon, CEO of U.S. Manufacturing, and Mr. Mark Roll, Chief Financial Officer, Controller, excuse me, from U.S. Manufacturing. And I'd just like to, again, mention to the council that we have been working with this company along with representatives from the county. Mr. Justin Robinson is here in the audience with us, and we very much appreciate their help along the way. And I do want to mention that it took a lot of deliberation on this company's part, and they can tell you themselves that there was very serious consideration of taking this investment to Mexico. And after many meetings and you know, the opportunity for tax relief, they decided to keep it here in Warren.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here, gentlemen. We appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck in pursuing this, and hope you're very successful.
Thank you for the abatement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you,
agenda
Council.
item?
Next agenda item is number 12, an administrative hearing. Excuse me. Consideration and adoption of a resolution creating a tool and die renaissance recovery zone under PA 376 of 1996 as amended for the Paslin Company located at 25411, 25303, and 25205 Ryan Road, 23655 Hoover Road, and 3400 East 10 Mile Road, Warren, Michigan.
Item number 12 is an administrative hearing. I need a motion and support.
So moved. Support.
Motion by Mr. Stevens, support by Ms. Vogt. We had a discussion on this in the committee of the whole. Is any members of council or Ms. Borges, do you want to update the residents on what we're establishing here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
As the council is aware, last August 10th of 2010, City Council did adopt eligibility guidelines for the application of Public Act 376, as this is referred to, for tool and die recovery renaissance zones. And what that entitles a company that is approved by the City Council and the state, I might have added that with the last agenda item, but any abatement that is approved by this body must also be approved by the state of Michigan in order for the tax relief to be implemented. Paslin Industries has been located in the city of Warren since the 1940s. They have 5 locations in the city of Warren. They have been invited into a tool and die recovery collaborative. Thank you. And in order to be approved by this body and the state, they must be invited and approved to be part of a collaborative, and they have been invited into the Eastern Michigan Collaborative. With that said, Mr. Chuck Pasquay is present here tonight. That's his brother. And he has explained to the City Council in a previous meeting the advantages to the company that should the abatement be approved this evening, how it will enable them to grow in their business and in their employment. They already have numerous employees from the city of Warren who reside in the city of Warren as employees, and plan to hire more Warren residents should this abatement be approved. With that said, the City Council is in receipt of a resolution to approve a Renaissance Recovery Zone for the Paslin Company. And if you would like more details from Mr. Chuck Pasquay, he is here in the audience with us this evening. If not, it in essence is 100% abatement for a period of 3 years under the council's guidelines of all taxes, personal and real, and at the 3rd year, the applicant can come back before this body, reapply for additional years. Under the statute, a maximum of 15 years is allowed. And similar to the Renaissance Zone that we talked about, where U.S. manufacturing is located, on the third year, they'll come back on the tax roll at 25% and then 50%. And by the third year, 75% of the 5 years, and then the sixth year, if they're not approved, they'll come back on at 100%. So that's the basically the abatement in a nutshell.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, we appreciate it. Any comments from council members? Mr. Bachman?
Just real quickly, I know mentioned earlier, can you state how many jobs are actually in Warren? I think it was 54?
Actually,
54?
please.
Come on up.
It's 287
I
employees.
have it in my
Yeah, but
notes,
50
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, but yeah, I'd like to just have a brief 2-minute presentation, I think.
Currently,
Warren,
we
so-
have 287 employees in Warren, 54 reside in Warren,
Yeah.
and 46 of our sub-suppliers are located in Warren.
I appreciate that, and also I know, maybe not mentioned in the data, but the educational aspect of your program. You mentioned earlier how you do recruit students and come into the trades, the skilled trades. Not everybody can or is college tracked, so this is an opportunity as well, and I know you've started something. Can you briefly just speak of that to the listeners, because we have a lot of schools out there, Fitzgerald, I know automotive, Van Dyke with the building trades, but also with the skilled trades, pipe fitters, electricians, some of the opportunities your company has provided for Warren for the children,
Well-
students, young adults.
Well, again, an apprenticeship program takes 42 college credits. It's a 3-semester year that they have to go to for 4 years, and also 8,000 working hours, so it's not an easy program. When they're finished, they are tool makers, they're electricians, they're skilled trade.
And I appreciate that aspect of your company as well,
So-
as well as the long history and the
You
jobs.
do have to be on a college track, but it is a good opportunity for people that just can't financially go or have other obligations that would keep them from going to full-time college.
I think we look at the history of Warren, the skilled trades built this city, so thank you
Thank
for
you.
continuing the tradition.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Warner?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to let the audience know, this company has been hit by very hard times over the last 5 years, and for them to survive is truly an amazing story, and we're hoping that they come to a complete rebound. And in the past, they've been a very generous contributor to the city, so we wish them all the luck in the world. Thank you.
Any other comments from council members?
Madam Chair?
Mr. Sadowski?
The tool and die abatement that we're doing right now, this is a perfect example of the ability that the city has in order to help a particular industry, and again, an industry which has been met with tough times, but also we see a company now that has sort of reshaped itself, reforming itself, and not only has a presence here in the city of Warren and in the state of Michigan, but also a global company. And once again, the influence of Warren through its industrial use, not only through General Motors but also through Paslin, making our city very well known and a real player within the auto industry. So again,